Welcome to Mercho Insider. Today we are going to talk about an enemy that is hidden inside all of us, and that is worry. It is a silent disease that does not care how successful, rich, or powerful someone is. It simply eats away at our mind and body from the inside. So let's understand together how this enemy works and how we can defeat it. To get to the root of this issue, let's look at two completely different characters from history. On one side is Napoleon Bonaparte, that emperor, that conqueror, at whose feet almost the entire world lay. But what does he himself say? That in his entire life he only got 6 days of happiness. On the other side is Helen Keller, who could neither see the world, nor hear it, nor speak to it. Despite this, she said, "Life is a beautiful thing." This astonishing difference makes one truth absolutely clear. Happiness is not related to what we have, but to what is going on inside us. Let's understand this a little more deeply. Worry does not just stay in our thoughts, it directly attacks our body. It is like an invisible disease that silently weakens our very being from within. Nobel Prize-winning Dr. Alexis Carrel said a very harsh but absolutely true thing. He said, "Those who do not know how to fight worry die young." This is not just a saying, it is a biological reality. So gaining control over worry is not just a matter of mental peace, it becomes a question of the length of our lives. Look at this number, 70%. What does it indicate? According to Dr. O.F. Coburn, this is the proportion of all patients who go to the doctor but could treat their own illness. Now the question is how? Simply by gaining control over their own fear and worry. Just imagine 7 out of 10 illnesses could be cured merely by changing our mental state. What a great proof this is of the power of our thoughts. Now look at this chart. It is the result of an investigation involving 15,000 stomach patients, and the result is truly shocking. You can see that only 1 in 5 patients had any physical cause for their illness. The other 4 patients, that is 80% of people, had their roots of illness in their emotions, like fear, worry, hatred, and self-centeredness. This is solid proof that our heart and mind are directly connected to our stomach. Here you can see what worry actually does to our body. It is not just thoughts, it works like a poison. Stomach ulcers, irregular heartbeat, high blood pressure, these are all the wounds that our troubles leave on our body. It is an enemy that attacks from within. So far, we have understood the seriousness of the problem. Worry is indeed very dangerous, but the good news is that a solution exists. And this solution was discovered not by a psychologist, but by an engineer, Willis H. Carrier, who created a magical formula to solve the problem logically. What happened was that Carrier was on the verge of a $20,000 loss due to the failure of a major project. Worry had robbed him of his sleep at night, and his mind seemed paralyzed. But then the engineer within him took control. He thought, being upset won't help. I have to fix this problem like a machine. And this is where his formula began, and this is that 3-step formula that changed his life. Step 1, analyze the worst possible scenario. What does this do? It pulls you out of the fear of the unknown. Step 2, mentally accept that worst-case scenario. This acceptance removes your mind from panic and gives you peace. Step 3, now with the strength that comes from this state of peace, devote all your energy to improving upon that worst-case scenario. And the result? This formula worked like magic. As soon as Carrier accepted the $20,000 loss, his mind calmed down and began to think creatively. He devised a new solution that cost only $500 to implement, and thus he turned a potential disaster into a $15,000 profit. This is proof that when we stop panicking, our brain works at its best. Now let's hear a story that might even surprise medical science. This is the story of Earl P. Haney. What happened was that doctors diagnosed him with an incurable ulcer and told him his days were numbered. So what did Haney decide? He thought, if I have to die, why not die after seeing the world? And the amazing thing is, he booked a ticket on a cargo ship and even took his coffin with him. But then a miracle happened. The moment he accepted death, he was freed from all worry. He ate and drank to his heart's content, enjoyed every moment of life, and the result. When he returned, he had gained 90 pounds and was completely cured. His carefree attitude itself became his medicine. In the stories of both Carrier and Haney, one thing is common: they accepted reality, and this brings us to our next important point: the power of perspective. Sometimes we don't need to change the situation, we just need to change the lens through which we view it. Here's a question: would anyone sell their arms and legs for $1 billion? Certainly not, no one would sell them. This means that all of us already possess wealth that is more valuable than billions of dollars: our body, our health. So if our body is worth more than $1 billion, then why do we ruin our health over a few $1,000 job or a small failure? We are burning our billions worth of wealth in the worry over a few coins. How illogical is this, right? And this is the greatest reality that can free us from worry. According to research, 97% of our worries are about things that never happen. We waste 97% of our time and energy fighting ghosts that exist only in our minds. Listen to the story of Robert Moore. He was trapped in a submarine at a depth of 276 feet with enemy ships dropping bombs overhead. In that moment, with death just inches away, he realized how trivial and meaningless his old worries, like feeling lonely or not having a car, were. On that day, he swore that if he survived, he would never worry about small things again. Now that we have thoroughly understood the psychology of worry, let's talk about some practical tools. This is a toolkit you can start using from today to develop the habit of keeping your mind at peace. This is not just theory, it's an action plan. The first and most important tool: live your life within the bounded circles of the daily grind. What does this mean? Live your life like an hourglass. Just as only one grain of sand can pass through it at a time, similarly, we too can only live one day at a time. Close the doors to the past and the future. Focus only and only on today. This is a psychological law. Our brain cannot fully focus on two things at once. This means it's not possible to be both consumed by worry and engaged in an interesting task at the same time. Therefore, the best way to banish worry is to immerse yourself in some work that you enjoy. Remember, busyness is the best cure for worry. And finally, these are the four golden principles. Stick them on your desk. 1. Do not regret the past. What is done is done. 2. Come to terms with the unpleasant. If something cannot be changed, accept it. 3. Set a stop loss on your worries. Decide how much attention a problem is worth and don't give it a single minute more. 4. And perhaps the most important, put on a cheerful demeanor, smile, and your mind will follow your lead. So I leave you with a final question. If 97% of our worries are baseless, then just think, what could happen if we saved all that mental energy? What could we build with that energy? What could we learn, and what kind of amazing life could we live? The choice is ours. If this conversation has helped you even a little in gaining control over your worries, please be kind enough to like it, subscribe to our channel, MIRCHO Insider, and definitely share it with those friends and loved ones who might need this message to improve their lives. Let's together take a step towards a more peaceful life. Thank you very much for watching.